There were moments when men's cruelty could not be explained. It had to be seen. The perfect shot pierced our numbness, sent up a flare to save the next generation, and said, "This is where we've been. Don't follow." Then there was no one left to heed the warning. The only one left to save is yourself.
My earliest memory is war. It was a conflict so complex that it could never be resolved. But this war isn't complicated. Death is still heartbreak. But a kill is a kill.
Where there is life, there is light. The glow of hope. At times, it burns brightly, but dwindles and fades. We must never let it die.
There's never a moment when you forget. It's there when you fall asleep and when you wake up. You keep going over the things you should have done. I should have stayed home that day. I should have held on. The agony is always there. But I've learned to live with it. Because the only thing stronger than regret is hope.
To all my classmates who alienated me because I was different. To anyone who never gave me a chance. To the people who ignored me while I hid behind zeros and ones. Thank you. Without you, I would never have made it this far. I would have been weak and dependent. I would have ended up just like you.
I was never afraid of Cachet the Deathless. I laughed at the fairy tale of this undead phantom. A woman of science would never fear such silliness. But what do we know? Science cannot explain what I've seen. And in the face of such horror, there is no logic. Only faith.
I was just a boy when the Soviet Union collapsed. The nation was divided in two. Those with power and those without. At 8 years old, I learned the price of weakness. And I vowed never to pay that price again. I became the strong man. I gathered wealth, influence, and power. But nature is indifferent to the hierarchy of men. Once more, she burned my world to ashes, leaving only bitterness and the rage I would need to survive.
People don't believe something can happen until it does. They live in cheerful ignorance of the coming storm. I could see nothing else. When it finally arrived, I felt relief. At least now the danger had taken shape. Now, I had a target. And I didn't have to fight alone.
I will not be welcome in the kingdom of heaven. That fate was never in the cards for a man like me. The Lord had other plans. I have made my peace with God. He is with me in this life. And that is enough.
Growing up in Tokyo, you either became a salaryman or you were a waste. If you asked around, it's safe to say I was the latter. They said I lacked self-control, that I shamed my family. So my father sent me off to relatives in the States. Turns out, Americans care a lot more about earnings than honor. Which worked out fine. Until the Zeke showed up. The Japanese decided to evacuate. They didn't have the firepower to fight. But I had special skills. So when everyone else was leaving, I went home.
I was 11 years old the first time I felt the ground shake. But my grandparents wouldn't hear of it. This is our home, they told me. We don't leave. I came to live by that code. Earthquakes, tsunamis, typhoons, they're all part of life here. We accept them. We don't leave. When the evacuation was announced, I rejected it. This wasn't our way. Then I saw them. And I understood. This wasn't another disaster. This was a war.
Nobody expected a 9-year-old girl from Tokyo to be fascinated by guns. Nobody imagined a 22-year-old university senior would drop out and train for the biathlon. Nobody believed that the daughter of a salaryman could win Olympic gold. And nobody predicted that a necrotic plague would decimate our planet's population. But life is all about the unforeseen. And nobody saw me coming either.
MLRS barrages dug in on the Sawmill River Parkway. Paladins just waiting on top of the hill. Just for shits and giggles, we also brought in M1s, Bradleys, Humvees, mortars, and Comanches. Gonna be quite a show.
This is Dr. Alex Greengold. This is Dr. Alex Greengold. Can anyone hear me? I am in a house on Hillel Street near Maccabi Square. I am all that is left of my team. I have no food and I'm nearly out of water. The infected have found me and will soon overrun my annex. If anyone hears this, please respond.
Test 24D. Subject is approximately 10 years of age, with transmutation occurring within 48 hours. Exposure to A239 resulted in immediate acetylcholine hydrolysis inhibition, convulsions, orbital hemorrhaging, and cessation of metabolic activity. These results indicate that A239 could be a legitimate weapon for neutralizing the infected.
We are not equipped to protect our citizens against an outbreak of this magnitude. Our JSDF lacks the capability to defend our shores from such an onslaught, and only 0.3% of our citizenry own firearms. It is for this reason that the Ministry of Defense recommends a full evacuation of the mainland, and with the cooperation of our honored Russian neighbors, a temporary resettling in the Kamchatka Peninsula.
Ils sont en train de passer nos dernières défenses. On peut plus. Mais merde, velho! Johnson can see something.